How much actual control does Zionism have in the United States? Why is this such a significant problem? It's a significant problem for many reasons. But when it rears its head and you see it, you can't unsee it. And then it just becomes another example of why we must continue to talk about this so that people that are in those areas recognize it and see it for what it's worth. Now, I am going to show you something that you have not seen anywhere else, but somehow I caught it. I looked it up. I read about it. I couldn't find it. Nobody covered it. Who covered it? Some pro-Israel channel decided to put it out there. Like fools. And now we know about it. And now you're going to know about it. Israel in San Francisco. In honor of Israel's Independence Day, San Francisco City Hall was lit in blue and white. Thank you, San Francisco City Hall. So here's a couple of interesting points about this that you probably didn't hear about. Number one, the city of San Francisco has completely blocked commentary on this story. You will not find it in any publication. Doesn't exist. It's not out there. But these dumbasses, because they're so brazen in their ego, you know, for anybody who's ever seen The Devil's Advocate, remember what Al Pacino said, vanity, definitely my favorite sin. And it is for them. Vanity is an Israeli's favorite sin. They love it. They jerk off to stuff like this. They love looking and saying, yeah, we are in control. This is an example, a prime example of that. And the fact that you can't find anything about it, you want to know why you can't find anything about it? I'll tell you why. Do you know who the mayor of San Francisco is? The mayor of San Francisco is a man by the name of Dan Lurie. Now, many of you may not know who Dan Lurie is. I didn't know who he was. Why would I care about the mayor of San Francisco? I was in San Francisco for the first time a couple of months ago. But frankly, my time there, as most people's time there would probably reflect, that's a city for the rich, especially if you want to enjoy yourself. The time I enjoyed was over on the other side of the state in Yosemite, hiking in National Park. That was what I did. But in the time that I was in San Francisco, listen, there's a lot of good things about San Francisco for sure. The food is excellent. There's many places you could visit. The Pacific is great, but again, I'm only there for a couple of days. I don't have to live in it. And the people who have to live in it and ask themselves, why does San Francisco suck to high heaven so much? Well, here's a good reason. Colin, if you would, please. San Francisco Mayor Daniel Lurie denounces "Tax the Jews" chant heard during protests. Now, this is where it gets interesting. And of course, if it's the Times of Israel, we already know that there's going to be dealing of a lot of grains of salt, plenty of salt, and they're salty. So here we go. Chant appears to be shouted by woman who calls to tax Israel, because remember, Israel and Jews are the same thing, in accordance with somebody like Daniel Lurie. Now, Daniel Lurie is an interesting person. We're going to get to that in a minute. Democratic Socialists of America, which was leading Tax the Rich demonstration, says she isn't a party member. Again, I don't know why that matters, but that's the mayor. Yeah, he looks like a charming lad, doesn't he? Let's continue. Jewish leaders and California elected officials have condemned an anti-Semitic chant that was audible during a protest Wednesday against the repeal of a local San Francisco tax ordinance. During a news conference addressing a new housing construction development plan hosted by San Francisco Mayor Daniel Lurie and San Francisco District 5 Supervisor Balil Mahmoud, protesters with the DSA chanted "Tax the Rich." According to the video reviewed by the Jewish Telegraphic Agency, one woman on the scene can be clearly seen and heard chanting "Tax Israel" and "Tax the Jews." Lurie, who is Jewish, condemned the chants which he said had come from a group of people. No, it sounds like it came from one person who said it. But at the end of the day, who cares? There is this thing called free speech. We know that we are living in a lawless country now, so who cares? In any event, at an event this afternoon, a group of individuals that were chanting tax the rich began to shout tax the Jews, suggesting that Jews are wealthy is a tired trope. And targeting our community at the event focused on creating economic opportunity for San Franciscans is decidedly anti-Semitic. I will never accept hate directed at the Jewish community or any community in our city. Those are not San Francisco values. We're better than that. This is the person who called for the illuminating lights at City Hall. Praise Israel. That's this guy. The DSA, the largest socialist organization in the country, yeah, they're big, distanced itself from the chant, saying that the only single person was involved and she was not a DSA member. Again, saboteurs. But even still, say what you want. During today's protests of the Prop 1 repeal, a non-member joined the crowd and spouted disgusting anti-Semitic. So of course you cave. Of course you cave to this nonsense. This is exactly why the left has no balls. DSA members and other protesters asked her to stop, but she refused. We want to be clear, and whatever hate she holds isn't shared by DSA members. Again, don't even address it. In the videos, the woman is wearing a head covering and glasses and appears to be pacing a distance away from the other protesters. So again, they're looking for a reason. That's what they're doing. The incident comes as the DSA, which endorsed the boycott, divestment, and sanctions movement, maybe the only good thing that really came out of them, and opposes economic and military aid to Israel, has both notched major wins and drawn repeated allegations of anti-Semitism. Yeah, of course they do. After the Hamas-led October 7th attack that started the Gaza war, it broke with one of its political stars, New York Representative AOC, following her appearance on a panel where she condemned anti-Semitism. More recently, one of its members, Zohar Mamdani, was elected mayor of New York City. Their DSA member last week challenged a DSA-affiliated elected official for condemning Hamas during an open meeting. In San Francisco, the chant was condemned by other organizations, of course, and lo and behold, Ro Khanna had to stick his nose in there, and ADL CEO Jonathan Greenblatt, because of course he would. And in a statement by Amy Spittelnick, the CEO of the Jewish Council for Public Affairs, what does anti-Semitism look like? This is hate and extremism masquerading as progressive politics when, in fact, nothing about it is progressive, and it is only undermines the fight for justice, all of our safety, and our democracy. Yes, indeed. That's exactly what it is. Now, I guess you're all probably wondering, since this story is impossible to find, who exactly is Dan Lurie? Who exactly does he represent, and what is his background? Dan Lurie, who is the mayor of San Francisco, is actually somebody who comes from a very prominent family. How prominent, you may ask? How prominent is Dan Lurie's background? He is an heir to the Levi Strauss fortune. He is a cousin of Dan Goldman, congressman in New York City. His father, Rabbi Brian Lurie, is a former president of the New Israel Fund. That's another one of those very controversial organizations that is extremely pro-Israel and extremely anti-everything else. And this is who runs San Francisco. Now, again, you would ask yourself, how does a story like this slip through the cracks? How does nobody notice this? It's easy. When you are in control of the media and the money supply, you can make everything go away. And when you are talking San Francisco city politics, there is a reason why I said AOC, Pelosi, was 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. There is a reason why Pelosi has been running that city for as long as she has. There's a reason why Feinstein ran the city as long as she has. There's a reason why Lurie is now in control. It's pretty simple. If it is a Zionist haven, they will see to it that their way of thinking and their way of executing politics is the way things are done, no matter what the people want. It's very easy to buy elections. And frankly, who's to say? You're quick on the uptick, my friend. Quick on the uptick. All of it. This is how it works. But remember, Dan Lurie's a Democrat, so that makes it okay. And as we have been saying, the thing about the Democrats, but more so the elite liberal class, like in San Francisco, New York, Chicago, Denver, Miami, Asheville, North Carolina, Los Angeles, Boston. What do they all have in common? They're all liberal bastions of the Zionist order. Why are the Democrats worse? Because they protect empire better than Republicans do. What we have in front of us right now, you cannot turn away from. It is impossible to turn away from it. You can't turn away from Trump. You can't turn away from Hegseth. You can't turn away from Patel. You can't turn away from Vance. You can't turn away from any of these clowns, frankly, because they're in over their head and they don't know what they're doing. And they're answering to a greater authority. There is the clown show, because that's what it is. But when somebody like Dan Lurie is in control, you don't even know he's alive. You don't even know where he is. Now you know. But this is one of those lessons. This is one of the reasons why our channel causes problems, even though we're not that big. If we were hitting 5,000 live viewers at a time, I don't know if we would survive. And a big shout out to our friend Lee Camp, whose channel got shut down again. We will be having him on very soon. But these are the risks we take. I don't know how we're going to dress this up, but we will. And I hope you'll all share this story, because this is a story that people need to know. Colin, if you could pull up that image one more time. You think any other country in the world is going to get this treatment? You think anybody else is going to see this? I don't think so. But I think that this is a very big problem. And it isn't so much that they put up the lighting for one evening. That's got nothing to do with it. It's a smoke signal. It's letting them know, hey, we're here to play ball. That's it. And that's why they do it. If this was a Trump special, you'd probably hear about it. But because this is the system, not the actor, this is why we don't even blink at somebody like Trump. We don't like the fact that you've got a demented person with his finger on the button at all times. But in terms of the grand scheme of the fucking system, he's nothing. He takes orders from Laura fucking Loomer. That's how you know things are bad. Period. And this is just one more example of that.